When it comes to getting jacked, eating healthy doesn't need to be as expensive as you may think it needs to be. I spent $438 on an entire month's worth of groceries. And in the past, I used to spend $400 on a night out to get drunk. And I would do that multiple times a month. I do live on Long Island in New York, so $430 is a decent amount of money, but I blame society. I don't know. I did go a little bit over budget. I splurged a little, but you'll find out what that is. So we're just going to put all these groceries away and I'm going to go through them, why I bought this thing. And yeah, if you're watching this on the replay, just hold the top of the screen like around here so that you can go 2 times the speed, because this is probably going to be a decently timed video. We're going to start off with some of the proteins. I got tuna fish. Tuna fish is super convenient. You can grab a can, mix it with some mayo, add some pretzels is what I've been doing for a quick, simple lunch. So I'm going to put this tuna fish away in the pantry. Next, oh yeah, and if you want the grocery list for this entire thing, either comment list on this live or comment list on the replay video, and I will send you the exact grocery list I used. Some of the things that I splurged on aren't on the grocery list, and the grocery store also didn't have everything I was looking for. I can't remember exactly what it was, but moving on. I got some salmon. So these are frozen salmon fillets. These frozen salmon fillets are going to be able to be stored in my freezer, so I don't need to rush to eat them. I can use them at convenience, throw them in the air fryer, top it with some lemon, and now I don't only have a good protein source, but there's also a great fat source filled with omega-3s. Omega-3s are not only going to help your hormonal health, but they're going to help your brain health. They're going to lower inflammation in your body, and you're just going to walk around feeling like a lot better. These are going to go in the freezer. I got chicken thighs. These chicken thighs are similar to the salmon. There's healthy omega-3s in here, and it's a great source of protein. So I'm going to throw these in the fridge because I want to cut them individually and put them in a separate package to marinate or, make different meals out of them. But that is something for another day. Today, all I need to do is put the groceries away because grocery shopping was enough in and of itself. By the time I got to the last store, I was pretty hungry, and that led to some bad decisions. So I'm just going to put this in the fridge. Yep. We'll process that in the future. Similar thing with the ground beef. Ground beef, this is 8812 ground beef. Costco, what the fuck? They don't got 90, 10, or anything leaner than that. This is the second time going to Costco. This is the leanest thing I could find. This packaging is leaking and bloody, so I'm going to need to process this right after I film this video, because if I put it in the fridge, it will dirty the fridge. So I'm going to divide it into maybe 6 Ziploc bags, flatten those Ziploc bags, put those Ziploc bags in the freezer, and then whenever I'm ready to eat some ground beef, I'm going to plan ahead, take it out of the freezer, put it in the fridge to de-thaw, or I can de-thaw it a lot faster by letting it sit in some cold water for 30 minutes. But I'm going to put this over here, and I'll process it after the video. Now I got blood on my hands, so I need to wash my hands really quick. And I'm just going to check on this live, make sure it's working. Yo, what's up, Jay? Hello, everybody that is joining this live. I can't read your comments, but I'll read them after. Next, we got some Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is going to be a great source of protein and calcium. Calcium is helping me to have good muscle contractions. A lot of people find themselves cramping throughout the day, and oftentimes it's because they're lacking specific nutrients, not just drinking water to stay hydrated, but making sure you're having enough calcium in your diet, magnesium, sodium, and potassium. You need all four of these things in a good enough quantity each and every day to make sure that you can perform your absolute best and not need to take breaks because you're cramping or you're feeling exhausted and you haven't even exerted yourself that much. So Greek yogurt, also, it's like a straight up replacement for sour cream. Tastes pretty much the same, and it's so versatile. You can do a lot of different things with Greek yogurt. I think my favorite thing that I've done with Greek yogurt so far is make that cheesecake. And if you haven't seen that video, comment cheesecake and I'll send you that video because it's a delicious cheesecake. And the other thing in this box, I have some other protein sources, but we're just going to hop around to whatever else I got. I got a big thing of chia seeds, omega-3s, healthy fats, not too high in protein, but they are very high in fiber. And fiber is going to help keep you regular. When you have good shits, your mood's automatically going to be better. I'm sure you sat on the toilet before and just did not have a good shit, and it kind of ruins the next couple hours of your life. But when you have a really good shit, it kind of makes you happy for the rest of the day, honestly. Yep. So I'm going to put these in the pantry. I got to try some weights and machines soon. I'm so used to calisthenics. Looking as fuck. How much do you weigh? Toned as fuck. Oh, thank you, Jay. I weighed in this morning at 172. And I do be eating, I do be lifting, and I do be doing it on a consistent basis every week. And I've been doing that for a number of years. But if you stay locked in, you stay determined, you lock in with your own personal journey, I'm sure you can get to my physique, if not better, within 3 years. So if you need help, what else is in this box? Walnuts. Walnuts, healthy fats. Gonna add a lot of crunch to my meals, and this is just great to have. It's also decent source of protein, but mostly a fat source, and I mostly got it because it adds that crunch to your meals. Still a great option, and I got this big ass bag. This is gonna last me more than a month, so that's great. I'm gonna put these in the other pantry. Hemp hearts, I got these because they're a good source of protein. You could add them into your smoothies on top of your granola. Greek yogurt. And they also are very high in those omega-3s. It's good that I'm getting all these different foods that are not only good protein sources, but also have a good source of omega-3s and other healthy fats that are going to support my hormonal health as a man. If you want high libido, you cannot just focus on eating tons of protein and that's it. You need to have a balanced diet. And you also need to be making sure you're doing those other things like sleeping well, training your body, drinking plenty of water, because all these things play in conjunction to make your libido super high to the point where it might be a problem. And we're going to put this in the pantry. Yo, I got a question. Damn, I'm 6'3", 190. Damn, bro, you're pretty tall. And sounds like you're a little lengthy. Yo, I got a question. What are healthy snacks I can buy or make to stay stoned? Healthy snacks. Healthy snacks. Did I buy any healthy snacks? Well, that's it for this box. Did I buy any healthy snacks? I don't think I bought many healthy snacks. See, I am pretty locked into my routine right now, and the only snacks I'm having are fruit, protein shakes. I have granola bars and pretzels, and those are like pre-workout for my cardio when I do jujitsu. So those carbohydrates are being utilized. But other than that, I really am not snacking on many other foods, no cookies, no Pop-Tarts. And that's just because I'm trying to get as toned, as jacked as possible. This is a season of life. You don't need to forever be avoidance of all these sugary treats, but these sugary treats are not helping you if your goal is to get as jacked and lean as possible. Does that mean you cannot have them? Absolutely. You can have whatever you want if you control your calories good enough. But by not eating them, it makes it so much simpler to just go through your day. And the more locked in you become, the easier it is to keep that momentum. And remember, this is a season of life. So you're going to need to say no, 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 no sometimes. And once you're at your goal, you can say yes again. That's it. Hopefully that helps. A good snack that I almost bought was dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is very high in antioxidants and it's not very high in calories. So dark chocolate is a great snack to have, but I just decided I don't want it. I don't need it. I got flour. Flour I can use to make pancakes mostly, and maybe some other things. You can make a lot of things with flour. Think anything bready you can make with flour. Anything cakey you can make with flour. You can make healthier options. So we were just talking about snacks. You can use flour to make your snacks. You can make your own healthy cookies, your own healthy brownies. You can make your own healthy cakes if you just look up some YouTube videos on how to make a healthy cookie. Flour is going to be a base for most of those baked goods. So I have some flour, but again, I'm using this mostly for pancakes. So I'm going to put this in the pantry. Copy because I snack a lot and I have 3 meals a day. Well, 3 meals a day is good. And you can have snacks. It's all about calorie control, man. If you're trying to get bigger, you need to eat enough calories and you need to fill those calories with plenty of carbs, proteins, and fats. If you're filling a lot of your calories with sugar, your appetite is not going to be conducive to supporting your goals over the long term. But if you have any other questions, please let me know. I got sweet potatoes, a great source of vitamin A, a great source of carbohydrates. These are going to help give me long-lasting energy. They're also super simple to make. I usually just put them in the oven for an hour, take them out, and I can use it for whatever I want. I can eat it just like that. I can make a smoothie out of them. I can make mashed sweet potatoes, which are delicious. These are going to go in the pantry. And russet potatoes, same idea. Super simple, great source of carbs, great source of potassium. And I usually like to make either mashed potatoes, French fries, or boiled potatoes. And that will be a great carbohydrate source that I could pair with some of those proteins for long-lasting energy, stronger muscle contractions, stay locked in. So I'm going to put these in the pantry. Eggs are filled with so many vitamins, so many minerals. They are a powerhouse in that aspect. They do have some protein in them, but they're mostly a fat source. So a lot of people will eat a ton of eggs thinking that they're getting a ton of protein in. While it does have a good amount of protein, I wouldn't use this as my main protein source, but it is a very tasty breakfast for me. I love boiling some eggs, salt and pepper, and they're just so tasty. I don't know. I never get sick of them either. So that's good. Actually, that's not true. I do get sick of eggs sometimes. But that's not going to happen. They go in the fridge. I say that's not going to happen because a lot of cravings and turnoffs from food are psychological. And when you're locked in, you're overriding a lot of those psychological factors that may keep you astray. That's part of the game. Part of the game, being able to execute self-control. And self-control becomes a lot easier when you're fueling your body properly. I got some vegetables from Aldi. We got 2 things of carrots, 2 things of chopped kale, 2 things of spinach, lemons. I got onions. These onions I'm going to use to like saute, add them into savory meals. These onions I'm going to chop up and make pickled red onions, because pickled red onions are absolutely freaking delicious. I could put them on just about anything and I could eat a ton of them, and they're only going to help provide me with more vitamins and minerals, and also some pre and postbiotics from the fermentation process that happens with pickled onions. So the onions go next to the potatoes. The carrots go in the fridge. So do the lemons. The spinach and the kale, I'm going to put in the fridge for now, but my plan is to do something to make them last throughout the whole month. So I'm probably going to blend them with other things like the cilantro I got and the tofu, and I'm going to make some kind of mush. I'm going to freeze that mush and divide it into portions so that way I have an easy, accessible veggie mush that I can just throw into meals, and that will be my vegetable portion. Vegetables are good, in my opinion, to eat because they provide us with different vitamins that we won't get from red meats or other fish, such as vitamin K. Vitamin K is very important for your bone health long term, and they also have fiber in them. So they're just going to help add some more fiber to my everyday diet, keeping me full, helping me manage my hunger, making it a lot easier to stay locked in. They go in the fridge for now. Cilantro adds flavor, adds vitamins. I'm going to mix it with other foods for extra flavor and vitamins. I'm going to put this in the fridge. That bag is done. I got tofu. Tofu is a vegetarian protein source, but not only is it a vegetarian protein source, it makes smoothies and sauces and soups a very silky texture, and that texture is nice to have. Not only is it going to add that texture, it's going to add the protein and a little bit of healthy fats. Tofu is made from soy, and a lot of people don't like soy boys. They think it raises your estrogen, but that is not true. That is a misconception. So if you are on a budget, you're trying to get your protein in, and you're trying to make your meals last longer, tofu is a great option to add bulk into your meals. So I'm going to put these in the fridge. Sardines, similar to the tuna, I can have a quick, easy lunch by just opening a can of these, putting them with some carbs, adding some hot sauce. Delicious, easy lunch. They're also 4 times as high in omega-3s than tuna fish. So, help with that inflammation, that libido, and that energy. I'm going to put these in the pantry. Is peanut butter a good option? A good option for what? Peanut butter is a good option for peanut butter toast. Is peanut butter a good protein source? Definitely not. Protein in peanut butter. The way to know if a singular food is a good protein source is you look at the nutrition facts on the back of the label. You see how many calories are in this food, how much protein is in this food. You times the amount of protein by 10. If that number is equal to or greater than the amount of calories, that's a pretty good protein source. So something like this maple syrup that is 110 calories with 0 grams of protein is a terrible protein source. But it's very tasty and is going to make my breakfast a lot more enjoyable. I could add it into smoothies. So that's why I bought some maple syrup. We're going to put this in the pantry. We got bread. Bread is a great source of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are our body's main source of energy. So I got some honey wheat bread that I'm going to use for either like tuna fish sandwiches, chicken sandwiches. I'm going to use it for sandwiches. This is going to go into the pantry along with this Italian bread that I'm going to use in the morning. My mom also likes Italian bread a lot, so she's probably going to eat this also. But we're going to use it for eggs, eat some carbohydrates with our eggs for good energy to last us throughout the day. It's also pretty tasty. This is going to stay on the counter. This is going to go in the pantry. I use potato bread and whole wheat. Hey, those are good options. Use whatever bread you like, man. I like honey wheat and baguettes. I got these seasoning packets, so I could add this sloppy Joe mix to some of that ground beef that I bought, and it's just going to be a super simple way to add a shit ton of flavor into the ground beef and make it super tasty. When your diet is tasty, you're not going to want to go off of your diet. Gravy, because I'm going to use this for the potatoes. When I make French fries or mashed potatoes, put some gravy on it, adds the flavor, makes it so much more tasty. I ran out of garlic and onion powder, so I'm going to use the garlic and onion powder to add a ton of flavor into my meals. This is going to last me a very long time, much longer than a month. This might last me the entire year, but I ran out. So it's good to have garlic and onion powder along with salt and pepper. You have those 4 seasonings. You can really improve the flavor of your meals with extremely low effort. So I would recommend getting those seasonings. These ones are totally optional. You do not need these, but they were super cheap. They were $1 each. So I'm going to put these in the pantry. Next, bell peppers. These are going to add a shit ton of flavor to just about anything I cook. If you roast bell peppers, it changes the flavor so much, it's insane. And then you could add that into sauces. You could put it on top of meals, and it's going to be a great source of vitamin C, giving me good cellular health. When your cells are healthy, you're going to have more energy, make better choices, stay locked in. These go into the fridge. Bananas. Bananas are a great source of potassium, and they're super convenient. All you need to do is grab one, peel it, eat it. You can have it as a pre-workout snack because it's also a good source of carbohydrates. And again, that potassium is going to help with muscle contractions so that you cramp up less and you can perform a lot better. These are going to stay on the counter. Similar idea with kiwis, an even better source of potassium. Very good source of fiber also, And I've been eating kiwis before bed, about an hour before bed. And they have, I think, actually improved my sleep quality. I believe they are also a source of magnesium or melatonin, or maybe both. Does not say, but it does have a shit ton of vitamin C, a shit ton of potassium, a good amount of calcium. So that's good. It's also a carbohydrate source. So if you want to eat this as a pre-workout, awesome. It's also tasty. You ask for snacks, eat a kiwi. I got some ginger root. Ginger is a very great anti-inflammatory food. You slice this up, cook it with garlic and onions, and then start cooking whatever you're going to cook, like ground beef, chicken, salmon. And it's just going to help make the meal more anti-inflammatory, help gear you towards recovery, and a better mood. Because of that, you're not in as much pain. Like, for example, right now, my elbow, although it feels a lot better from when I got armbarred in a competition and tore up some of the muscles in my elbow, it feels a lot better because I've been training. I've been trying my best to sleep well. I've been drinking lots of water, and this is just going to help speed up that healing process, help get the leftover inflammation out of my elbow even faster. So this, I honestly don't know. Do you store ginger in a fridge, or do you leave it out on the counter? I don't want it to mold, so I'm probably going to put it on the counter for now and then slice it up later when I'm processing the other shit. And I'm going to freeze some of the ginger. Something else I did was I juiced the ginger, and then the pulp that's left over from the juice is still packed with ginger flavor, and you can freeze that a lot easier. So I think I'm going to do that again. Just freeze the ginger pulp and make ginger shots. Yep. In the pantry. I just got to swap some changes. Of course, brother. That's what everyone's got to do. Everyone's got to, not everyone, people that are struggling on their fitness journey, all they need to do is make some changes. All they got to do is make some changes. Easier said than done, though. It's easy to say, yeah, I got to change, but what does change actually look like for you? Who do you want to become because of that change? What do you need to do to be the type of person where that change just becomes your personality? Food for thought. Garlic, great aromatic. You fry up some garlic with some olive oil, then it's just going to really make your house smell delicious. And you can use that for your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner. It's going to be another food high in those antioxidants. So it's going to help support your circulatory system to drain out any inflammation in your body. These are going to stay on the counter, in the pantry actually. Go in the pantry. I got this big ass thing of rice. This will last probably a year. I'm not really sure, maybe 6 months, but rice is awesome because it's not going to go bad. It's never going to go bad. I could just use it at a whim, grab a cup, wash it, put it in the rice cooker. Easy carbohydrate source. Great source of carbohydrates. Pretty much straight carbs. 40 grams of carbohydrates per serving. And I usually have about 2 servings. So I'm getting 80 grams of carbohydrates just from this rice. Aside from carbs, it's not really high on anything else. It's just a carbohydrate source. But still, carbohydrates are a main source of energy. So if you're feeling low energy, rice can be a great option to help you get more carbs in your diet. Although you're not going to be eating as much volume, because if you eat a ton of rice all the time, you're probably going to get fat just because it is higher in calories compared to something like potatoes. But use my portion control system and you can fit rice into your diet without even having to track your food and still get leaner, still get bulkier. These are going to go next to the potatoes. I got some sauces. So I got some ready to use minced garlic. Like I was saying before, garlic is awesome if you can just throw it in a pan and saute it, but chopping it does take time. And just having some garlic that's ready to use is very nice. So I'm going to put this in the fridge. Refrigerate after opening. Whatever, I'm going to find a place for the fridge now. Hot sauce, 0-calorie sauce that adds a ton of flavor into your meals. I like putting this on my tuna fish or my sardines because it tastes delicious. 0 calories. That's it. This was the thing I splurged on. Butter chicken sauce. See, I could have made my own butter chicken sauce, but I was hungry in the store. I saw this, and just the idea of putting the effort to make the butter chicken sauce was such a turnoff. I was like, I'm just gonna buy that pre-made sauce. So I'm gonna put this in the pantry, and honestly, like, I'm gonna start thinking about making my own butter chicken sauce. And if that actually does happen, I'm gonna return this so that I can get some more money back in my pocket and make this budget frugal friendly. Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce is great in meatloaf. I really enjoy the savoriness or smokiness that it brings into the meatloaf, and I didn't have any, so I had to re-up on some Worcestershire sauce. All these go in the pantry. And the last thing I bought was some Saratoga sparkling water. This was another thing I splurged on, and the only reason I bought this was obviously I like sparkling water, but I have been dealing with cravings to smoke weed, and I know that if I have this Saratoga water, it kind of like, it's enjoyable and takes my mind off of smoking as much. So I got some of these to help me have an easier time throughout the day, enjoy a nice beverage. I like sparkling water. You buy whatever kind of beverage you like, but just be mindful because many drinks do have calories in them. Saratoga water, 0 calories. Diet soda, 0 calories. But yeah, I like just sticking with water because the flavor of a diet soda, the sweetness, can sometimes backfire. It can make you really crave the sweetness. You really want more sweets. I want sweets. But at the same time, it could help you. It's like, okay, I'm satisfying my sweet craving with this sweet thing. But if you have a craving, that's a big psychological thing. So if you're not hitting that craving psychologically, but you're attempting to hit that craving psychologically, your brain's like, all right, I already tried. I'm trying. I'm going to keep trying until I actually satisfy this craving, rather than just being in a mode of self-control and saying, no, I don't need it. So yeah, that was the last thing I bought. Saratoga water. Where's this going to go? I'm going to probably drink one right now. And that's it. Again, if you want the list, just comment list either on the live or on the post, and I'll send you the list. For a couple seconds, I stopped thinking about everything. So that was absolutely worth it. These are not getting returned. $430. All invested into my health. May sound like a lot of money, but you are probably spending a lot of money on alcohol, drugs, fast food, takeout that you don't even realize. So this is going to last me more than a month, and I am also allocated some money to eat 5 meals outside of my house throughout the next couple of weeks. because 4th of July is coming up. And I know that I'm probably going to buy some kind of meal prep. I know that Target just came out with some new frozen meals. And these frozen meals are macro friendly. And frozen meals are a great option to have around if they're macro friendly, because some days you don't feel like cooking and you have a quick, easy option there. That's it. Take it. Any questions? Let me know. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.